there's something here that's out of alignment. Something to do with relationships, connection in relationship, distance in relationships. Something that you need to pay attention to. Now, this could be an aspect of you that you are not really aligning with on a soul level. Something that, you know, you're manifesting, that there's a part of you that's like, well, I don't know about this. Or this can be a pattern that you have in relationships. Something about being true with yourself, about what you want, what this really is, unveiling some sort of um, intuitive insight that you have about a particular connection, or again, this connection with yourself. Um, so yeah, something is out of alignment here, and there's something that needs your attention. So let's see what Spirit has to say about this, if this reading resonates with you. The Emperor. Oops. Can we know more about this, Spirit? Welcome in if you are new. Welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Bark. I'm an intuitive reader, Carl Jung inspired coach, and this is Walking Wilder. All right, let's see here. Strength card at the bottom, which is your unconscious energy. So there's a part of you that already knows this, that something is not quite right, something you really can't put your finger on, perhaps. But there's something here that's just not really doing it. Is what I'm hearing. Let's see, Spirit. What is hidden here? Here's the Hierophant energy. There's something here that you need to learn. Something about how you make choices in relationships, what you view as success, meaning what is it that you're actually, wanting? What is stability for you? What is, a safe foundation, a safe way of being? What makes you feel protected, feel safe, feel loved, feel grounded, feel all of these. There's something in, see how, the fish are like this circle type of energy here. There's something, some pattern, some way of thinking that you keep repeating. And it's really not, see, there's like a hole where, they're going around where her heart is. And so this is, it's almost like you keep repeating cycles that hurt you. Now that doesn't, most of us would not do that on purpose. So there's something here that you're not seeing, that needs to be unveiled about your awareness. Here's awareness. In this card here, it's like all kinds of different sides of herself. This is like her, her various, not shadow sides, but her various different, different parts of herself that needs different things. Perhaps, let's just take an example. If you did the mother maiden crone energy, you might need something different depending on your stages of life. Of course, you can have crone energy when you're a mother and maiden energy when you're a crone. But it's not, it's more parts of us that are integrated in who we are. This is her different. And if you're a man, just take that. But now this is women here, so we don't read body parts. This is the energy of the various different sides of yourself. Now, I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but there is this shadow figure right here in the background on this card. So there's something, it's awareness here. There's something here that you are not aware of, a pattern that you keep repeating again and again and again that keeps you out of alignment with what you truly want from a relationship. And Spirit is like, it's time we unveil this, so that you can choose something better, something that gives to you. 6 of coins here, where there's like an equal give and take. And I don't mean financially, but energetically, love-wise, connection-wise, something where things are in alignment. What's the challenge here, Spirit? 7 of Cups. Can I have one more? Wait, I think that was more than one, but that happens quite a bit. Ace of Coins, that was that was actually a lot. All right, 7 of Cups. So there's choices. And again, if you see here, this is, her third eye. It's like intuitive. There's better choices than what there's things that align more to you. There's something missing. And this does not necessarily mean that whatever situation is in your life right now, whatever relationship, that it's the wrong relationship. But there's something that you are doing that is not in alignment with what you're really, really wanting on a soul level. What you're wanting to create as far as a stable foundation for yourself. What you're working on, And Spirit is like, all right, we want you to see this now. Page of Swords, Knight of Swords, Queen of Swords. They definitely want you to see this. There's going to be some sort of insight here. Something that's going to pop into your head or show up. You're going to see something, hear something that will guide you in the direction of whatever it is you're not seeing. Nine of Wands. Learn some sort of lesson. Well, not a lesson. That's not, but some sort of insight that's going to make you see whatever this is really clear. But this is your challenging energy. Why is it such a challenge, Spirit? Strength again at the bottom here. This is definitely a challenge. A big one. The Hanged One. So this has been going on for a while. She looks very much like, this young girl here. So to me, this is telling me that there is some energy, some pattern here that goes way back to, childhood. Something that you have been, some pattern that you have carried with you all this time, which is why, all this time, I don't know how old you are, but in any way, if you're an adult, you've carried this with you for quite some time. And it's like you just can't really seem to shift your perspective on whatever it is. And I don't think that you're necessarily even aware of this. You just know, I keep repeating things, and so there's something that's out of alignment here. The Hermit in the split over here. There's this, something must have happened here, or is happening now, because Spirit is pointing it out, that is going to make you really, really look deep with the Hermit energy. Look into the shadows and try to figure out what is this that's going on here. What's lurking here in the shadows? What am I not seeing about myself, and my way of viewing the world? Often these are, childhood patterns, stories you were told, either directly or indirectly, about who you were, how things were supposed to be, how love was supposed to feel, that type of thing. But this is definitely something that runs deep. All right, so talk to me about the supportive energy here. What is coming in here to help the viewer see what this is all about, Spirit? Queen of Cups. Intuition. This could be from your higher self, one of the parts of you over here, some sort of wisdom that comes to the surface. Five of Cups, Justice. Seven of Swords. Again, Seven of Swords, can be betrayals, lies, that type of thing, but also things you've been kind of lying to yourself about, meaning that you have not, for some reason, been wanting to see whatever the justice was in this. Something has hurt you. Probably whatever this story or stories have been as a child. Maybe you've been told you were not good enough. And, sometimes it's not directly, it's not like they're, an adult have pointed at you and said, you're not good enough. I hope not. For some of you, they might have. But it's the subtle, small things that create this thing in a kid that you're not good enough. You're never going to be worthy of love. Nobody's going to want you if you behave that way. If you speak up, if you're angry, if you're stubborn, if you're whatever. It's been, there might have been some messages that have created some sort of pattern in your life, codependency or people pleasing, whatever it is, that has somehow, well, not somehow, that, that would definitely do it, but that has created these pattern that makes you choose relationships or choose patterns in relationships that are just not in alignment with you anymore. This Queen of Cups, with the intuition, with the self-love, with the we need to create from a different perspective, is like, all right, this Five of Cups energy here needs to stop. We need to make better choices for ourselves. There needs to be some sort of karmic justice here. So these stories that we've carried with us that are not true needs to stop. Yeah, judgment in the split over here. Yeah, you need to stop judging yourself. For most of you, I feel that's exactly what you're doing. You're judging yourself. You're like, well, if this is not working out, then it's probably because I didn't do, or I said, or I was too much or too little or too, whatever the case is here. What is the viewer not seeing about this, Spirit? What are they not seeing? What don't they see coming? What are they not seeing about this pattern? Oh, that was a lot. The Hermit again at the bottom here. Judgment. Page of Pentacles. Seven of Wands. Nine of Wands. Yeah, I don't think you're really understanding how much of a burden this has actually been on you. It's kind of like this self-evaluation is kind of what I want to say, that you have been doing, perhaps unconsciously, but it has definitely been driving your relationships, your ways of setting boundaries, your ways of protecting your own energy, And for some of you, I just don't think you even really have noticed. Well, that doesn't, but you haven't been aware. Aware is a better, awareness is also on there. Aware is a better word for this, because this is obviously not something you do on purpose. It's just the way that it's been created. But it has been a heavy burden. Nine of Wands is a lot to be dragging around. Um, and this judgment card, see how, this is, a part of you that's like, no, 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 you're not good enough. You should have done better. You should have blah, blah, blah. There's really a lot of judgment in this. So what's the advice, Spirit? How does the viewer heal this? The Empress. I think we'll put her over here. If this reading resonates with you, please press like and subscribe and all that good stuff so you'll get notified. And more importantly, it helps more people see the readings, so more people can get readings and hopefully answers to things that they can work with to improve their lives, which is sort of the whole purpose of this. So, of course, if it doesn't resonate, no hard feelings, then this is just not your reading. Perhaps I'm not your reader, which is fine too. Let's see. How can the viewer work with this energy to improve this, to heal this? Ten of Cups and the Empress. Can I get a couple more? No. It's not the one. Ace of Cups. One more, Spirit. King of Swords at the bottom here. So again, something about seeing something. Yeah. It's time to move away from these old patterns. And my feeling with this is you have been blocking this unconsciously for quite some time. It has been a lot easier for you to see and accept all your flaws than it has to see and accept everything that you have to give. Now, we all have flaws. At least I've never met anyone that doesn't. But for a lot of us, it's much harder to see all the good sides of us than it is to see all the things that we've done wrong or that we judge ourselves for, or other people have told us this is not okay and all of that. It's time to leave that behind. It's time to realize that all the good in you, all your intuition, your creativity, your wisdom, your life experience, all the things that you've carried with you, from childhood, from previous lives. If you don't vibe with previous lives, that's fine. But for those of you that do, to realize all of that, you in your fullness is your Ten of Cups. That is your own Ten of Cups. You are everything you need. You are love, Ace of Love. Ace of Love, Ace of Cups. I did another reading where the message was, you are love. So someone really, really needs to hear out there and understand on a very deep level that in the end, you really are love. Because that's all there is. And I know that's a little wonky with everything that's going on in the world. But, underneath it all, that's the truth of it. So Spirit is saying here, the way to get out of these patterns is to consciously work on recognizing all the good in you. Recognize the things that you're good at. Recognize the wisdom that you carry. Recognize the fun that you are. Recognize the the creative ideas, the joy, the way you care for yourself and others. your love of animals, whatever it is, and it's many things, of course, but recognize those and move your focus away from this self-judgment. Change your perspective. Get out of this judging mode. I can almost hear one of you going like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said that. Oh God, what will people think? Blah, blah, blah. No, don't keep repeating these stories in your head. Move your focus to the good things. This said and tried thing with keeping a gratitude journal. That holds a lot of power. Maybe keep a journal on what did I do good today. Did I make someone laugh? Did I help somebody standing in line somewhere? Did I smile at someone who obviously looked like they needed a smile? Did I, all the little intuitive things you do without even thinking about the impact that you have on other people. Put your focus there. Realize that the Ten of Cups is actually in the being, the living, the just being here. Yeah, there's something in that. What else, Spirit? Choose you. Choose you. Strength, again, for the third time. I think this has, see how she's kind of hiding behind this cat here. There's something in being strong enough to show people who you actually are. And that requires to be a little bit, to be vulnerable, to be open to. I see a door just, cracking open a little bit, and it's kind of like, okay, taking baby steps to show the world a little bit more about who you actually are, with the focus on these things and not, being apologetic for you. You don't need to apologize for who you are. Show people the goodness, show people the kindness, show people the creative side, not the more or less hidden I'm not good enough things. For some of you it's like, stop being an excuse for yourself. That sounds really harsh, but that's what I heard. So it's meant in a loving way. Realize that you deserve, respect and goodness too. Bring your attention to your needs, to your, what is my Ten of Cups? What else, Spirit? If this feels like, yes, he has the devil. This is hard for you guys. This is like, oh no, that's a lot to be asking, to actually put focus on my good sides. That'll ruffle some feathers. There's almost like an instant King of Swords. The King of Swords can, be somewhat cold but also very logical, very sharp, very well spoken, so be careful that it's not this energy you talk to yourself about. When you talk to yourself, be in the Empress energy. She's very nurturing, she's kind to herself. She's like, she would say like, oh yeah, okay, so you messed up. Oh well, we live, we learn, we move on to the next thing. The King of Swords will be like, oh my goodness, I'm such an idiot, I should never have done and said and blah blah blah. So, the difference in energy here is that one is like supporting growth and the other one is like tearing you down. And these are like, parts of yourself. This is the inner voice, the inner roommate, this whole, who's living in your head. And who do you allow to actually speak in your head to you? Is it your inner critic or is it your inner support? And it needs to obviously be the inner support. Yeah. So, what else, Spirit? Page of Cups. Yeah. Write yourself a love letter. I mean, seriously. But this, this is, for most of you, this is about falling in love with yourself, with your creativity, with your joy, with your wisdom, your strength, your everything you bring to the world, to put your awareness to new sides of yourself. Move your attention away from the inner critic you know, onto seeing the blessings that you hold. Transformation here. Yeah, write a love letter to yourself. Why not? Tell yourself about all the wonderful things that you are, all the wonderful things that you've done. And yeah, you've probably done some stupid shit too. We all have. But why focus on that when there's so much good in you too? Knight of Cups. Transformation. Yeah. Let's pull one of these to just kind of get a message to round this off. If you're still hanging on here, thank you very much for being here. I really, really do appreciate you guys. And I hope this can somehow serve you. That would be awesome. Yeah. When I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract support from the universe. So this focus on you, on loving yourself will automatically make sure that, you attract more good stuff from the universe. There it was. In any moment, I can surrender to the powerful presence of love through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. So, there's... I surrender to a power greater than me. Spirit is like, we got you back in this, but we really, really need you to see that you are love. You are a creation of God. You are part of the universe, made from stardust. All of this good stuff. You are love. So write yourself a love letter and see all the beautiful sides of you, so you can heal some of these old patterns that keeps you stuck in cycles that are not healthy, that are not, not good for you. But again, for most of you, this is healing parts of yourself, healing the way you view yourself, so that you can be in a more loving energy. Yeah, I think that's what I have for you. I hope it resonates with some of you. I hope it serves. And thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Big love.